Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get the show on the road. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Afromat Show. I'm your host, Afromat. This is episode 115. If you're listening from a car, I want you to go ahead and honk your horn. Doesn't matter where you are, honk it right now. For Easter, for the resurrection of Christ, for the third day that God rolled out of his tomb and said what's up to the boys. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, everyone was kind of shook up. The last dinner, or I guess it was was it the last supper? The last brunch? If God was a girl, it would be the last brunch. Kind of an ominous name to be having. You think they would get the kind of bad vibes from going to the last dinner or whatever, the last supper. Everyone's chilling around Jesus like, yo, Jesus, why did in the memo, why did you say that this was the last supper? He's like, don't worry about it, man. But yeah, so happy Easter, everyone. Hope you got a lot of eggs and candy. I think that's pretty much it. And I think a lot of people do communion, that kind of stuff, become one. Breaking of the bread. That's the OG breaking of the bread, is on the Last Supper. But let's get into this. I wanted to just take a moment there to praise Christ real quick, if you don't mind. Let's get into the news. There's a lot of news today, so we got to start early. We got to kick it off pretty early. Do I have a story? Oh, I do have a story, and this is more of a rant. Really, this is more of a rant towards every company that has an automated phone system. I don't care who you are, what company you represent. If you have an automated system, you deserve to be 9/11. Your business, your headquarters deserves to be 9/11. I was trying to, and I probably should have done this a while back, but I was trying to request a refund or a withdrawal of my 401k from Home Depot. It's been like 2 years, so I had to get my username. So I called the department to get the 401k. They asked me all this information. I'm like, I have not worked there for 2 years. I do not know any of my login information. So then they're like, okay, well, we're going to transfer you to HR so you can get your stuff, your birth date, your hire date, whatever it says on your when you applied. So I do that. I get transferred back out to HR. HR gives me my hire date. I go back in, talk to a different lady. So now I have to re-explain the whole situation. I get transferred. She's like, oh, okay, all right, well, I typed it in and it's not working. I'm like, well, did you type it in right? And she's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, of course you didn't. I'm like, what seems to be the problem? And she's like, it's your birthday. I'm like, my birthday, I know what my birthday is. She's like, okay, let me transfer you to HR again. And I told her, I'm like, if I transfer back to you and you transfer me back, I will be not happy. I won't be a happy person anymore. So then she transfers me back. She's like, oh, we actually had your birthday a day late for some reason. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to transfer you back. So I get transferred back again to a third lady, Chantel, I think. Talk to her for a bit. She gets the thing. Still doesn't work because I told her the new birthday. So I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm like, before you transfer me, try inputting the birthday that they had messed up initially. So that works. We get in, and then she's like, oh, your 401k is no longer with us. You have to call, it's like Meridian Trusts or something, some giant trust fund situation or so then I call them, and this is all on Friday. I called them. I'm on the line waiting. This all took place over like an hour and a half. So I'm talking to them, and like no one picks up because it's Good Friday. So now I have to. It's Monday now, and I have to call them, but I'm just not. I like. I had like that was my hour and a half where I was like I had one goal, I was gonna do it, and I'm probably never gonna do it again because it's just too much work. I really cannot be bothered. That's my rant for the day. Like the automation systems, that whole thing could have been done if without the transferring back and forth. I had to type in the freaking robot thing to each time I was transferred. It could have saved an hour, or probably at least 45 minutes of having to re-explain myself, tell everyone my situation. I was on hold. The whole thing is annoying. There's got to be a better way to do it. All I'm saying, there's not that many people. There cannot be that many people calling about 401ks at one time. I know you have a freaking room full of these people. There cannot be that many. I guarantee you there's not that many people calling about one situation. I'm on hold for 20 minutes. She was out to lunch. All right, that's my rant. Let's get into the news. The news. This is 101.5, the news channel. I'm your host, Afro Matt. Today we have, we're not going to start off on this one. Well, okay, we'll get it out of the way because we have to get the obligatory shooting out of the way. There's always one every week, it feels like. And the shooting of the week was a bank. So not a school, no trans people this time. Looks like someone was shot at a bank. 5 people were shot and killed at a bank. It was a employee of the bank who went, as they call it, going postal. So rest in peace. I feel like every podcast that I start, we always start with some sort of shooting. Is there a shooting every week? Are these things that common? Of course, we could do a shooting every week if we like counted Chicago and stuff. I feel like if you just walk down the CEO of Cash App was stabbed to death in California. The streets are not safe for anyone. You can be a multi-millionaire and still get stabbed up on the streets. Also, that might be a CIA situation going on there. Cash App. Let's see. Cash App CEO. And this, I feel like this should have been big news, but this was kept hush-hush for a while. 5 days ago, Bob Lee, Cash App founder of Cash App, dead after apparent stabbing. Of course, no witnesses, probably no leads. This guy will never have justice because the government probably wanted to buy out Cash App so that they could track everyone's purchases and then tax people on it. This guy probably said no. That said, okay, you want to go to sleep now, and then now he's dead. So mark my words. Mark my words. Not even 5 months. Probably half a year from now, 6 months. 6 months from now, the government is going to announce their own Cash App, or that they're acquiring a major part of Cash App or something. Or they're probably just going to come up with their own Cash App. The whole goal of the American government now is to track you in as many ways as possible for as little cost to themselves. So they don't want to have to bribe some CEO of Cash App to get their information. They don't want to buy it. They just want to have it themselves. So what they're going to do is they're going to make their own Cash App. They're going to slowly, I guess, stab all the other CEOs. I know that doesn't kill their company, but it's like sends a message. It's the mob. We're living in a mob-controlled government. It's crazy. It's kind of funny. You sleep with the fishes. It's just like they're just out there, just stabbing up people. It seems like they don't really care. Why would they care? Nothing happens. Hey, nothing happens. Hey, knocking on the door. Hey, nothing happens, dum-dums. Nothing happens when they do this. They could literally be out there with a giant CIA hat. They're dressed all in CIA clothes. He has a CIA mask, like one of those robber masks, and he's carrying around a big a big sign that says I am the CIA, and then literally stab this person, and people would say that it's fake or that you're a conspiracy theorist. So let's read a little bit about this guy. Bob Lee, the former chief technology officer of Square. Okay. So he's the CEO of Square, which is the slider for like small businesses, and then they turn it around and say, hey, do you want a tip? He also invented Cash App. It was confirmed that our dear friend and colleague, Bob Lee, passed away yesterday. After, yeah, rest in peace. Man, this is just some sad stuff. According to an earlier statement, police department officers responded to the report of an stabbing early Tuesday morning in the Rincon area of San Francisco, where they found a 43-year-old adult male victim suffering from apparent stab wounds. Officers rendered aid and summoned medics to the scene. The victim was transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Despite efforts of first responders and medical personnel, the victim succumbed to his injuries. Multiple local organizations cited unnamed police sources says Lee was a victim of the stabbing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Unnamed police sources, i.e., the CIA. Police have indicated no arrests have been made. In the investigation remains active. San Francisco has been grappling with an apparent uptick in crime. Isn't that like the gay capital of the world? Jesus. So yeah, we'll have to see. I would put money on it that the government is going to work on their own sort of situation. They were trying to literally last year, they were trying to tax everyone's Cash App trades back and forth, and it's only a matter of time before they do it. They're trying to pass this freaking what is it? Respect Act or something? What is it called? It is called the Restrict Act. Yeah, look at this thing. This is crazy. So, and this gets me a little heated, so I'm going to stand. I'm kidding. I'm just sitting back down, to be honest. I don't want to stand. The insanely broad Restrict Act could ban much more than just TikTok. So, we talked about a couple podcasts ago what the TikTok thing was about. They were like interviewing this guy, the poor CEO of TikTok had to sit through a bunch of boomers asking him, when I open TikTok on my Wi-Fi, does it see my Wi-Fi? Can it see my Wi-Fi? Just these boomers asking the dumbest questions imaginable. There is one video where, let's see, lady plays TikTok in hearing. Here we go. This is crazy.
The association with ByteDance in China.
Congressman, I have not seen this memo.
You can't answer that question. And you expect us to believe that you are capable of maintaining the data security, privacy, and security of 150 million Americans? I think that is a blatant display of how vulnerable people who use TikTok
Miss
are.
Cormack.
You damn well know that you cannot protect the data and security of this committee or the 150 million users of...
Let me see. She actually like plays a TikTok for him. Poor Mr. Chang. Let's see.
I'd like to direct your attention to the screen.
Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. Mr. Chu, that's his name. So it says me as fuck, House Energy and it's me as fuck at the House Energy and Commerce Committee on the May 23rd, 2023, and it's a gun unloading very quickly. It's a video with 400 likes.
Mr. Show, that video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F at the House Energy and Commerce Committee on March 23rd of this year.
Me as
This video
F.
was posted before this hearing was publicly noticed. I think that's a very interesting point to raise. But more concerning is the fact that it names this chairwoman
This guy's
by
TikTok
name.
is on display.
Your own community guidelines state that you have a firm stance against enabling violence on or off TikTok. We do not.
I mean, this is absurd. There's no way this lady cares that much. There's no way this lady cares that much. The only thing this lady cares that much about is Big Macs. Is the 2 for $10 at Applebee's. There's no way she cares that much about TikTok. Like, this whole thing is just a disguise, and I know this has been like ran into the ground by every idiot like myself. They're like, well, if China, it's only a thing about China, might as well, it's America apps, they get your data as well. Yeah, okay, true. Whatever. But look, so this is really honestly just a way to push through this Restrict Act, which talks about it's sort of like the Patriot Act Part 2 is what a lot of people are calling it. If you don't know what the Patriot Act was, it was after 9/11. They're like, now the NSA can spy on literally all your phone calls. They can pull your freaking everything. It like pretty much took our privacy. And I think, and don't quote me on this, I think that Edward Snowden, after the Patriot Act, he released a bunch of information that the NSA was doing after that act was passed. And now our government is actively trying to kill him, and he had to move to Moscow to hide from our government because he was a whistleblower. So they're like, imagine if someone whistleblew now, Edward Snowden was like, I was like 10. That was like 12 years. Imagine what they're doing right now. Like, the technology that has grown in 10, 12 years since Edward Snowden whistleblew. The NSA probably like knows your sleeping patterns. They're listening to you sleep. Soon they're gonna start putting ads in your sleep. Dude, I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about in general. Ads are gonna be in your sleep. You're gonna start dreaming of a Big Mac. Gonna start dreaming of ooh, what a crisp. It's gonna have that go in your dream. In your dream, you get really thirsty and you're like, whoa, I could use a refreshing Gatorade right now. You're like, whoa, what the hell? Oh, man. The technology that they have is probably insane. Because everything's on a delay. Like, LSD, so they were experimenting with LSD before LSD was invented to be experimented with. Created by a scientist to make like MK Ultra victims or like MK Ultra experiments where they were just trying to like make the freaking perfect super soldier clientele pro where they have like sleeping super soldiers. They were trying to like break their brains with LSD and fill it up with like secret military training to be switched on at the drop of a hat and turn them into like a spy. So I guess the whole idea is that you have a spy who doesn't know they're a spy yet, so they could be tortured for 8 years and they would never know because they're not a spy. so they wouldn't have anything to spill. But the second that you turn on the switch, they turn into some sort of soldier. They get activated like Jason Bourne. And that was all in like the 60s. And this is all declassified. You can like literally look it up. Just look up Clientele Pro and MK Ultra. MK Ultra, they were trying to do brainwashing stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff with Charles Manson and his whole thing. He was apparently an MK Ultra victim who learned a lot of the techniques that the CIA was using on him with LSD, and he used that on his whole family, the Manson family, all the people that were in his commune, to control their brains and get them to commit crimes for him. So, I mean, it's crazy stuff. Like, imagine the whistleblowers now. If that stuff's out, if that stuff's declassified, imagine what's classified is what I'm saying. But here, let's continue here with the TikTok ban. So the Insanely Broad Restrict Act could ban much more than just TikTok. Also, I heard that this act doesn't mention TikTok once. Imagine making a bill that's supposed to restrict something that you're targeting, and it doesn't even mention TikTok once. So they're trying to take out TikToks and VPNs. Oh, why would you want to take out VPNs? VPNs block where you are, and they block where you they block your IP address. Why would the government ever want you to not block your IP address unless they were strictly trying to just track you? Like, this is the most and you know that this is fucked up, because this is the only thing that Democrats and Republicans can agree on. Everyone I've talked to about this Restrict Act is like, yeah, that shit's fucked, dude. It is crazy. They're like, yeah, they're trying to ban. Like, who agrees with this? I want to know. I want to see the person who agrees with this. I can't even imagine the type of person that agrees with this. Is there a single person? It's almost unimaginable that someone is like super psyched about this. They're just jazzed out of their mind. They're the first ones in line to vote. Like, it's crazy. And something like this can get through because what? I mean, how does this get through? Because a couple politicians were probably bribed or blackmailed. God, blackmail is probably even more valuable than bribes, because bribes get more expensive, but blackmail stays the same. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. He was in the blackmail business. You may think he was in the trafficking business, no, he was in the blackmail business. Guaranteed. They come to my island of definitely legal people. Then everyone gets there and he's like, oh, my bad. Actually, no one here is. literally, I'm going to write your name in a little black book, and we'll see about this later. The Restrict Act, a proposal piece of legislation which provides one way the government might ban TikTok, contains insanely broad language that could lead to other apps or communication services or connections to foreign countries being banned in the U.S. Multiple This is like China. Like, China doesn't allow anything non-China related. You can't use Google. You have to use like the Chinese. We are turning into China. It's so weird. I don't know how it's happening, but we are slowly turning into China. China might want to, honestly, China might not even have to invade us. We might just like one day wake up and we're like, oh, we are China now. Like, we all slowly have turned Asian. I don't know. I literally don't know if there's any way to even fix this. Okay. The bill could have implications not just on social networks, but potentially security tools such as virtual private networks. That's VPNs. I use a VPN anytime I play a video game, because I had some dude dox my IP one time. After that, never playing without a VPN again. I was playing Roblox. Dude, who doxes people on Roblox? It's a kid's game. I was playing a kid's game with some friends, and some guy doxed me. I'm like, what the hell? But anyways, the consumers used to encrypt and route their traffic. Yeah, one said, although so they're trying to. And I read a little bit about. I'm not going to read this whole freaking article. This one probably written by AI, to be honest. I heard that they're trying to make it a $250,000 ban or a $250,000 fine anytime that you're using a VPN. I'm like, so I guess one thing is, hey, VPNs do something. That's what that tells me, is VPNs do something that the government doesn't like you to do. So I'm gonna keep on doing it as long as it's legal. It's crazy. If this goes through, there should be riots in the street. There should be people marching. It should look like France outside. If they should just make the bill called the No Privacy Bill. That's like, at this point, it's the first one was actually kind of like they were trying to use doublespeak. Doublespeak is when you're saying one thing and you mean the other. Like the Patriot Bill, you're like, oh, that's badass. Right after 9/11, the Patriot Bill, caw, there's just charge into violence, you know. But it actually just means that the government's like, yeah, we're able to spy on you now. Thanks, Patriot. Yeah, we're just trying to stop terrorists here. Hey, we're just trying to stop terrorists here. So don't be looking up any bombs. God forbid you mention the word bomb. So the Patriot Act is like, they were trying to be sort of sneaky with doublespeak. This is literally like restrict. We are restricting your rights of privacy. Next one's going to be literally, we are China. The China bill. The Make America China Again bill. Just crazy. Just dastardly energy on this. But, I mean, I try to make this funny, but really it's the end of the world. The end of America as you know it. Like, I really... There should be marches after. Like, if this gets passed, I might march. I've never marched for anything in my life, but I might march for this. What would my sign say? My sign might say, Make America China Again. I don't know why again. Again doesn't really work. You have to make up a really clever sign so some reporter takes a picture of you. They're like, if you have like a nice, well-printed sign, you get a nice picture in the, like a, oh man, if you get a picture on like the headline of some sick like backdrop for an article, that would be badass. That's a badass screenshot. It's all in the poster that you pick. The Restrict My Anus Act. TikTok ban, more like kiss cock band. That's so stupid. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Okay, let's continue. So, apparently the Dalai Lama is hitting on underage boys. So I'm not gonna be honest. I don't know who the Dalai Lama is. So the Dalai Lama. So several dead and okay. Wait, why? This isn't the Dalai Lama. I want the Dalai Lama. That's the article for the shooter at the bank. Dalai Lama. Also kind of a badass name. Dalai Lama sounds super sick. The Dalai Lama apologizes after video asking child to suck his tongue. Sparks outcry. Why would that spark outcry? Why would a 98-year-old man asking a little boy to suck his tongue get outcry?
Is showing him kissing a child on the lips, then asking him to suck his tongue.
God, we really live in the worst timeline. The Dalai Lama is trying to get a kid to suck his tongue on live television. How old is the Dalai Lama? How old is the Dalai Lama? Why does he spell his name all fucky? The Dalai Lama is... Oh, wait. The Dalai Lama is like the Pope. So he doesn't have an age. Wait, what? Oh, it is like the Pope. It goes from one person to the next. Dalai Lama age. Yeah, so he gets like reincarnated. It's an awkward thing to the current Dalai Lama. How is it so hard to find info on the Dalai Lama? Wait, it's the head of the Tibetan government? Wait, so I thought it was some sort of religion thing, but this is just the head of the government? I don't really understand it, but he's trying to riz up kids.
February at an event in India. The video shows the young boy approaching and asking for a hug. That's when the Dalai Lama invited the boy on stage and kissed him. In a statement released today, the Dalai Lama apologized, adding he often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way.
Oh yeah, dude, that's innocent and playful. Asking a little boy to suck your tongue is innocent and playful. Those are the first two words I would describe when someone says that. Oh, that's a little bit of tomfoolery. Hey, the Dalai Lama's just getting a little bit too funny. He's a little goofy. The Dalai Lama's a little goofy. Here he is. They blurred the kid's face. Thank God.
And I think finally here also.
Dalai Lama kisses boy and asks him to suck tongue. So here he kisses him on the lips. Why are people laughing? Oh, dude, this guy looks like the Emperor Palpatine. Now he's looking at him, sharing a moment.
And suck my tongue.
And suck my tongue. He looks like he wants him to do that. I mean, that is crazy. What timeline do we live in? Dude, we really might live in the worst timeline. Like, isn't the Dalai Lama supposed to be like the embodiment of like Eastern ideals? Like harmonious nature, balance. Pretty sure they have like ethics and morals and stuff like that there. And now he's asking little boys to suck on his tongue. The dude's wild. First off, that's wild to do on. He knows he's being recorded. He's making a speech. That is crazy. But I would be lying if I said I would imagine Biden doing something similar to this, because the Dalai Lama seems to be in some sort of like state of declining faculties. Biden's like, now you suck my tongue. He just actually, second off, the Dalai Lama has a long tongue. I can't get my tongue that far out. Poor kid, sexually assaulted on stage in front of millions. Thankfully, they blurred out his face. God, imagine going to school and they're like, dude, the kids are ruthless too, and they would definitely make fun of him. They're like, dude, you kissed the Dalai Lama? It would roast the hell out of me, dude. If that was me up there. Damn. It's like those kids that got by Michael Jackson. A couple boys. On the Michael Jackson, that was a whole nother freaky thing. He was like, he built a roller coaster city in his backyard to like just attract kids. Like, It's like a moth to a flame. He just built a giant roller coaster city with like lights. He had a circus. There's like jugglers outside, and it's just like he's just in the middle, just like waiting for kids to show up. that There's a documentary out there, and it made these kids do some wild stuff. He's lucky. I think he's lucky he died when he did, because it was going to be a shit show for him in court. He was going to have to shell out big money. And he talked so weird too. He's like, "Well, I just want to see the little boys, and I just like little kids." Such a weirdo. What do we got next up here? Oh, this is good. So my last episode, I talked a lot about modern art and how I think it's dumb, and I think it's kind of regressive as far as art goes. It's like eating itself. Art is like people have gotten so, oh my God, you've gotten so profound that you're just a genius for doing absolutely the bare minimum. You have to understand all the rules of art before you can break them. People are just literally breaking rules just cuz, hey, I'm having fun out here. Hey, we're having fun. We're slinging paint at a canvas and calling it art here. Art, the art world is one of the most corrupt and tax evasive, fraudulent markets in the whole galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy. We harbor the most fraud in the art world. It is absurd. But there's apparently a new article out. I saw this came out, and I was pretty happy, because anytime it takes a peg down from modern artists, I'm happy. This was from The Guardian. It said, it's called Stealing. New allegations of plagiarism against Roy Lichtenstein. If you don't know who Roy Lichtenstein is, you probably recognize his name. He's very popular. He does all those artworks of, like, people will copy them, like, infinitely. People think they're super hip and cool. He does the pictures of, like, comic strips. Literally just, like, makes the comic strip. He goes into MS Paint and puts in the comic strip, and he just drags the corner to make it bigger, and then he copies that onto a canvas. But Roy Lichtenstein never shied away from the fact that his paintings were based on copies of comic strip. But some critics of one of the founders of American pop art have argued that copying was too polite a term. Now, a new film alleges that hundreds of his pieces of work can be traced to other artists. It's called Stealing, said the comic strip artist Hy Eisman, who just turned 96 and recently discovered that Lichtenstein has reproduced one of his images in the 1960s. I worked like a dog on that stupid page, and this guy has $20 million to show for it. It was just tragic. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be funny. He vents his anger in the new documentary titled Wham! Blam! Roy Lichtenstein, The Art of Appreciation. The Art of Appropriation, which shows that the original comic artists had lived austere and even destitute lives, while Lichtenstein's paintings sold for tens of millions of dollars. Their originals had earned them just a few bucks. Eisman, who worked for 75 years on a huge range of publications, most recently the Popeye comic strips, is among other 30 other comic artists appropriated by Lichtenstein and who believe that they were cheated out of recognition. I hope that this guy gets sued. Look at this guy. This guy looks like he does, if I had to describe someone who makes art for tax fraud purposes, I think this might be the only person that, like, if you ask an AI, can you generate someone who does art for tax fraud purposes? It would literally just compose a picture of Roy Lichtenstein. This guy's wearing like a black on black blazer with a white lapel or it's like a blue lapel and a blood red handkerchief poking out of it. I mean, he just looks like a Bond villain. And this guy's artwork is worth tens of millions of dollars. It's just literally the laziest blown up pictures of comic strips. Holy shit, this is actually what? Holy shit, this is a clone. This is almost a 1-for-1 copy of Russ Heath. That is blatant. It even has the blam. Holy moly. This one too? Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Lock Lichtenstein up. Better yet, just make him... lock him in a room with his own artwork. Maybe he'll kill himself. Jesus Christ. Nothing's more degenerate than... like modern, like, God, dude, the post, like, I guess there's modern, then there's postmodern. I don't know where pop art falls on that timeline, but all of it needs to be burned. It just needs to start over with a new modern. We need to return to traditionalism. Now this, well, hold up. This isn't going to become a rant about any sort of other traditionalist ideas. Return to romanticism. Let me show you some pictures of romanticism for a second. The romanticism art movement. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. These pictures are like beyond... like, okay, come on. So you're going to tell me that this piece isn't as expressive of the human emotion. This is a famous piece. This is actually a famous piece right here. It's this man looking out over the new world, the westward expansion. Oh yeah, this one's big. This one's very famous too. This one's called Something About Liberty. And it's like, you know if you see it. She's holding up the banner and she's charging the army. But now everyone's brain is turned to mush, so they like looking at a giant splatter paint of shit. You know that artist who does all that, Andy or Jackson Pollock did a piss painting. He literally did a piss painting. It's called his oxidation series. He took a giant metal slab the size of probably a wall and just pissed all over it. The metal oxidized, like it rusted in the spot where the piss was, and now that painting is worth millions and millions of dollars. Can you believe that for a second? He's selling a piss painting for millions and millions of dollars. I hope it all goes to hell. I hope we burn. We deserve everything bad that happens to us, the human race. Speaking of which, more bad things are happening to us. Truck carrying toxic soil from East Palestine. East Palestine, you may remember from Ohio, where they blew up and control burned thousands and thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals into the atmosphere above the city. They are now carrying toxic soil that soaked up all that juicy goodness. They were carrying it away to be disposed of. Oopsie, the truck carrying all the soil overturns in Columbian County. So this happened on 1 p.m. on Monday. Today. This happened today.
Palestine today overturned and dumped its load 4 miles north of the derailment site. It happened on Route
Jesus, it only made it 4 miles. It only made it 4 miles from Ohio before it dumped its filthy, toxic soil in another town 4 miles away.
165, not far from Route 14.
Christ.
Right in front of Cobbler's Corner Shoe Repair Store. As of 8:30 this evening, the road...
Dude, it's just some poor old man. That man sees 2 people in his cobbler shop a day, and now it's toxic waste. That man just got cancer for whatever remaining years that guy had is done. He goes outside now for a smoke. It's
was
over.
still closed, but was expected to reopen shortly. When we arrived, about 5:45, the truck had already been removed, and crews were digging the soil from the side of the road. It happened at about 1 p.m.
Jesus.
when a truck hauling 40,000 pounds of contaminated soil from East Palestine overturned, with 20,000 pounds spilling onto the road.
20,000 pounds. God, dude, is no one competent? Is no one competent about what they're doing? And this might come back. This might come back to people not being paid enough. Like, I feel like if you paid these people a proper wage, they would take their job seriously. And put a little bit of themselves in it. You know. Right now, they're kind of going through the motions. The guy probably put 20,000 pounds of soil in the back of his truck, and he's just like. He's probably high he's probably smoking on a dab pen. He's hitting a dab pen while driving. It's like, oh fuck, shit, oh. Then it starts spilling. He's like, shit, the back of my truck was open this whole time. I've been spreading toxic soil all the way through this whole town. Oh man. Ah man, I don't know. It's just it's sort of funny. I just imagine what's that song that's like it's like the song where everyone's running around. It's like an old timey running goofy song. Oh man, I don't know what's that song? It's like everyone's like running around in circles and it's like dun 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 something like that. That's what's going on. It's like an episode of Tom and Jerry. He picks up the soil, walks down, completely bombs another part of the town with more toxic waste. It's literally toxic waste. It's toxic trash soil. Just dumping it on another town for no reason. It shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening. I think it goes without saying that this shouldn't happen. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. By Christ. I mean, we're going to see the repercussions of whatever happened in Ohio years from now. You're going to see a documentary come out about everyone in Ohio is now dead or growing third arms or whatever, you know. Every kid born in Ohio for the next 3 years is like they have some sort of weird, they just glow. Just the kids all glow. They all just come out and they're just glowing. It's like, oh, this might be a problem. They just put a giant dome around all of East Palestine, Ohio. God, save this. Save this country. You know, I think the founding fathers initially, when they created the world, I think that they were deists. Was their religion, and they believed that God had left. They believed in God, but they believed that God left. And if they thought God left then, oh, save us all. God save us. Because if God left then, who's at the wheel? Who's been at the wheel for 300 years? I mean, what in the world is going on? Yeah, no. Yeah, it's such a. It's been downhill for a long time, and you know, of course, living standards are better than, you know, people aren't slopping just buckets of shit out their window like we're living in on cobblestone courtyards in old England, right? Yeah, living conditions are better than that, but hey, not by much. I mean, really, truthfully, not by much. The CEO of Cash App got stabbed on his way home. Just casually walking. He probably takes the same route. You know, humans are creatures of habits. He probably went same coffee shop, same thing every day. You never know when you're going to get stabbed up in San Francisco. Like he was just stabbed up. Literally stabbed to ribbons. Randomly. I don't know if you can really say that the living conditions are that much better. Oh yeah, but we live past 40 years old. Yeah, but people don't even want to make it to 40 anymore. Like 99% of the people I know don't want to make it to 40. Like they want to die. They want to die before 40. They're like, yes, our conditions are better, but we don't want them. Please make them worse. Stop with the progression. Stop with the medical advancements. Please, please. I don't want to live to 90. I don't want to live in a living hell that I have to trust the government to pay me my pension. Of course, it's like 80 years old probably when I'm old. When I retire, it'll be like 80 years old. You'll get $12, which will get you nothing. It'll get you a Snickers bar from... Inflation will be so bad, you'll get a Snickers bar. The government just sends you they just spit on a letter and they send it to you. They say, take this, retard. Here's what you get. Thanks for your hard work. They're just like, and they just lock it up and just send it to you. They just piss. They just send you a bag of shit and they light it on fire in your front porch. They're like, hey, here's your pension, bitch. Then they run away, laughing and pushing each other into the... They're just laughing. Just a bunch of government employees laughing. Little do they know that then when they get older, it's the same thing for them. I mean, it's a crazy world we live in. Here's your pension, bitch. Yeah, I mean, really. All right, let's move on to TikTok time here. Coming up on the home stretch. Talk about money laundering with art. Here is a watch. Here's a watch being bet at the Christie's.
$175 million. $177 million.
This is a watch, people. A watch. This isn't land. This isn't massive swaths of land. This isn't an island. This is a watch with diamonds.
Well, we're at a record-breaking level now. We've already broken the record by many, many millions. So $178 million. There it is, with Lishin.
We don't have a problem.
$178 million. You're all out in the room. It's a brand new world record for Zawuki. $178 million.
Christ. We don't have a problem in this country. We don't have a problem in the world. We do not have a problem in the world. You know what? This is healthy. 175 million for a watch is healthy business. Business as usual, people. Business as usual. All right. So Donald Trump got indicted. So I saw this video. This is how I found out that he was indicted. But in honor of Trump's arrest, someone made a compilation.
No, get those lights off. Off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights.
Wait, don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to... I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
This is a tough hurricane. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
He really was the GOAT. Here he is throwing Kobe's.
I was going to use an expression. We have to keep our country gay, but it's not...
We have to keep our country gay.
China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. He's
a brain. China has the utmost respect for my very, very large brain. He was on his game back in 2020, 2019, 2017 peak Donald Trump. Dude, like if he makes it out of this indictment situation, I think it's like a bull in a china shop. Just like, you know how when they got the bull locked up with the bull rider, and it's just like bucking and ready to go, but it's still kind of chill. And then once they open it, it's just like mayhem. Just mayhem. They release the beast. I'm scared that's what might happen if he beats his charges, if he does the race, bro, if he beats the case. It might be a landslide. Like, it might not even be close for whatever person runs against him. It might not even be close. Like, Donald Trump might just win by like numbers that might be unprecedented. Like every 100% of the population votes for Trump. No, that will never happen because there's too many people that their entire personalities are based around hating him. They're literally their entire personalities. Like, still, like I heard someone say this. In 3 years, it will mark 10 years of people actively hating, their lives dedicated to hating Trump. In 3 years, it will be 10. In 3 years, it will mark the 10-year mark of people's lives dedicated to hating Trump. Imagine that. 10 years wasted for hating someone that much. It's crazy. Oh, this is pretty funny.
The shooting closing down a
not really funny, but
mall
kind
in
of funny.
Virginia after a YouTuber allegedly tried pranking a man for a video, but then he was shot in response.
How's that for a
now
prank?
In custody.
This is 21-year-old Tanner Cook.
Do you know this guy?
A budding comedian who posts videos regularly to his channel Classified Goons.
Welcome back to another video.
He's known for ruffling feathers.
Hey, get the hell out of here.
Sometimes to the point security or police are called. But his latest stunt was met with gunfire.
Get on your face!
When a shopper Cook was trying to prank got offended and shot him, according to Cook's family.
Went to his stomach and into his liver, and they took his gallbladder.
The Loudoun County Sheriff's Department arresting the shooter, identified as Alan Coley. Charges include aggravated malicious wounding.
What? That guy shouldn't be charged. He was getting pranked on. Look, listen. If you're being pranked, you should be able to shoot them. If someone comes up in your face with a microphone and starts asking you, "Hey, would you how much money would it take to have sex with your mom?" And then they just have a microphone in their face and they have like a camera crew with like a phone and lights and stuff, and they're like, "Do you want to spin the wheel, or do you want $20, or do you want a mystery gift?" And you're like, "Dude, I'm just leave me alone." You should be able to shoot them. You should be able to open fire and shoot that individual. "Hey, sir, quick question. How much does your rent cost? How much is your rent?" You're like, "Dude, back off before I'm going to stand my ground real quick. Mind if I stand my ground?" "Would you rather have $10 now or double it and give it to the next person?" You're like, "How about I give you 10 rounds? How about I double that and give it to the next person?" Yeah, it's crazy. Should not be illegal. That guy should not be facing charges. I'm pissed, actually. Here's someone with Down's syndrome saying sorry for saying the N-word. I assume he said the N-word, and he's responding to a comment that says, "Why did you say the N-word?" with a shocked emoji.
I'm sorry for saying the N-word. I support the last man.
Based. Most based Downsy I've seen in my life. That was pretty sick. All right, one more video and then we'll call it good. Coming up on an hour here.
But you actually made an interesting statement.
This is like Lil Boozy.
People to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack.
Crack. I'm promoting it.
I actually really respect this guy's take. He's promoting crack. Listen.
Interesting statement. You told people to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack.
Yeah. Crack.
I'm promoting it.
You're promoting crack.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Fentanyl killing all the junkies who been junkies. I'm talking it's killing the junkies who been junkies for forever.
Yes.
Soon as they hit it, they dead. Crackhead, this nigga shoot threes, this nigga shoot basketball, this nigga run 100 miles, this nigga can sing, this nigga fix your car motor, been doing this for 20 years. This motherfucker still running around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's true. Crackheads can still function. Like, I've seen crackheads that like actually have jobs and like are working in McDonald's and like putting stuff in bags and like filling up drinks and grabbing, moving. This guy, he kind of has a point. Like, crackheads can still contribute something. Like, he's out here promoting crack, and I kind of respect it.
When have you ever heard crackheads hitting the pipe and dying the first time?
Never.
Never. This fentanyl shit is different. I would much rather crack. I would much rather crack.
You said
I've been seeing my crackhead people for 30 years.
True.
This nigga hit fentanyl 2 times. He's gone. You never see him again.
Yeah, I really respect that. He's got he's got really good points. Got some really good points. Whenever you ever seen a man smoke crack once and die? Never. It's true. All right, well that's all that we have for today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. If you liked the episode, share with a friend. Let them know what's up. And thank you for listening. Bye.